Hello, Aries. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider hitting the subscribe button, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we've got an Ace of Swords. This is clarity. This is someone who is kind of like not asking questions anymore. Not that you know all the answers, but you don't need to know all the answers, right? This is the antenna on the top of our head, our crown chakra, and the light is coming in. Your consciousness is piercing through the realm of thought and is kind of the tip of the sword is in outer space, right? Receiving the starlight. You're receiving the inspiration, the download, the clarity about your next move, the clarity right now about what your life is supposed to be, who you are, why you're here, and where to go, what to do. You know, what you're made of and what the next step might be. Okay, sometimes this is us with the ability to distill down our meaning and purpose of life into a very simple word or phrase, you know. To me, it feels like the painter who paints, you know, the runner who runs. Like that's the thing that you're supposed to do. And there's all these. The complexity comes out of this. This is our, you know, distilling our will down to, like I said, one word or phrase. But knowing that this sword will become a 2, a 3, a 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 100 swords, right? This is that very simple idea. The very simple kind of like mission statement, you know, and it branches out. It grows in complexity. The plan will evolve, right? This is just the idea. I want to paint. All right, great. We know that. We've received that divine revelation from the universe. Let's see what we're doing with that. I don't know if you're a painter or what you're doing, but we have the 7 of Swords. There's a complexity there, okay? We've got the Magician. Yes, of course we do. And the Lust card, Strength. We have a Princess of Swords and a Queen of Pentacles. That is your future self. This is yourself in the future, right? Looking back and realizing that all of your thoughts, words, and deeds right now in the present moment have created this self. Who is this person for you? Who you want to be down the road, that's the person you got to start creating now, okay? And that's part of our magician energy, our ability to create. Here we have the Hermit. We've got the Fool. We've got a 2 of Cups and a 9 of Pentacles. You're making progress. You've chosen. You're receiving that download. Okay, you're kind of you're receiving a revelation, I think, of your kind of like your true identity, right? Like what is the role that you're kind of stepping into? You know, what is the mission statement of your life right now? Now this may change over time. We may over time we may grow a little bit more insightful about what this really is. Maybe right now it feels like the painter who paints, or there's I'm a healer, I'm an energy, I'm a light worker, I'm a healer, and we may sort of refine this over time. Okay, and get a deeper understanding of what our life's motto is or our life's mission statement. Okay, but for now, this is what it is, and you know what this is. Yeah. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is the High Priestess. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor, Infinite, and Unknown. We're going to set it down right here with our very own Kelly Kapoor. Right on top. Put the High Priestess up here. We're not going to look at that mystery card until the very end, okay, Aries? But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction down in the comments. Okay. Now, let's look around the room. We see some major arcana. Yes, we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course we get our 5th one. The extra, the High Priestess there. We don't have any fire yet. Okay. We've got a little bit of water. We got quite a bit of air. And then we've got a couple of earth cards. So I wonder if right now there's something that we kind of like we feel like we've received this download, this spiritual light has come in, but we're still wondering, like, am I supposed to do it? How do I do it? How do I go forward? Like, I just, I still have some questions. Maybe there's some resistance. See, the thing about the 7 of Swords is that all of the incoming swords, they're not really touching us, but they're about to. We're worried that they will. We're trying to stay on that Ace of Swords in the center, see? So it's saying, I got a mission. I know what my mission statement is. I know what my motto is for my life right now, and this is what I want to do. But there's these other swords, as I'm trying to go straight ahead, these other things are coming at me this way. Could be opposition from other people. It could be criticism. Okay, could be some haters out there. It could be things from ourselves. It could be an inner struggle. Okay, it could be that we are sort of choosing. Well, maybe we're choosing between a stable job and something more of a passion project kind of thing, right? That maybe we are we're dealing with these issues of kind of looking like a fool out there in the world and thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't really pursue this all that much because, one, I don't really know what I'm doing yet, so I am kind of going into it green, right? I don't know the path ahead of me. I don't know how I go from this sort of declaration to the actual result. Okay, so maybe it's just, maybe it's too risky. Maybe that's not the right move. And I think the absence of the fire energy is kind of saying that we haven't really taken all the necessary steps yet to get this rolling. Okay, but we know what it is. We want it. We feel this passion behind us. But we're just, we're overcoming, I think, some mental resistance. Yeah, a little bit of mental resistance. And I think that, I think that we're going to overcome that. Okay. So we don't have any of the fire energy, and we have a little bit of the water. And I think the water this is part of our fear. The love. Love is the fear here, right? Because we're not sure if we're actually going to come together and if this is going to be an experience that's going to work. We're going to go through all of this other activity, but then what if it doesn't work? What if I don't feel good? What if I don't love it? What if it doesn't love me, And then we kind of feel like I've wasted a bunch of time, or like, what's the issue here? What if we try, and we don't succeed in doing the thing, You're a painter who paints. That's my big light. The Ace of Swords is like a light bulb on the top of our head. This is my big light bulb moment. I'm a painter who paints. What if I paint and I just find out that I don't like it? What if I was wrong, right? And so the love is kind of our fear there, right? And maybe we're not talking about a profession or a vocation or something like this, or a hobby. Maybe it's really about a relationship. Maybe it's like, I know what I want in life, but I'm just worried about how to get it. I'm worried about what other people are going to think. I'm worried that I'm going to get it and I'm not going to want it anymore. I'm worried maybe I'm wrong. So there's a lot of opposing energy coming in, and we have to deal with those opposing forces. This is resistance. Sometimes this is a card that says, it's futile. It's pointless for me to go out and try because there's so many things against me. We see that, like, we're this central sword, the Ace of Swords. And there's all these other little swords that are like the guards outside of our door. And we're like, we're going to go off to adventure we're a knight, right? We've got our sword in hand. But then as soon as we step out of our door, there's all these other guards with their spears. And we're like, okay, never mind. I'm staying home. Okay? Because that's how the world looks sometimes. You know, when we get all excited, we get fired up for something. These two cards here, right, with our lust card, we get so fired up with something, but then as soon as we take that first step, we no, because it's like that old movie, Robin Hood Men in Tights. Remember that? Shout out to Dave Chappelle. And it's sort of comical in a way. But I think we have to face this in a way that is maybe a little bit. Maybe we can look at it a little bit silly, right? We got the fool energy out here anyway. You give the fool an ace of swords, and guess what? The fool becomes a knight of the Holy Grail. Okay, but we've got to go through the door, and we have to, and well, that's the high priestess going through the doorway, right? We've got to try to do that, even though our first step on the path, we feel like there's a lot of opposition. Anytime you're trying to start anything new, I'm going to start a business. And then, okay, geez, paperwork. What am I going to do? How am I going to sell it? How am I going to put it together? How do I learn the technology? How do I do this and this and this? They're like, there's all these things. Oh, there's competition. There's already a million other businesses just like it. There's all these reasons not to do something. There's always going to be those guards standing outside your door with their spears aimed at you as soon as you open the door. There they go. Always going to be that way. We need to break through that. This is that mental resistance. Okay. Beneath the surface, though, interestingly, you have the magician. Okay. There is this power in you, this creative energy in you that wants to come to the surface. Okay. This is something deep inside of you. This is your inner magician, and needs to come out here and realize that this passion through this clarity is going to reach the desired outcome, okay? And it is the magician who can transmit the light. That divine energy coming in is transmitted out, and that's the deal, right? And we're all trying to become the best magicians that we can be. This is really the message of every tarot reading. How do I become a better magician? How do I let the light come into me and show me the blockages, and then clear the blockages away so that light can then be transmitted out to the world? That's what the magician is. It's the transmitter. It's a transmission of energy coming through you. You are just the vessel. You are just the conduit, the clear channel for that divine light. And when we look at ourselves that way, we think, okay, then my job is to not get in the way. The job of the human personality is to just conduct that electricity. I've got to be the magician. I've got to be the conductor. Okay? I'm not the light itself. I mean, I think we are. I think everything's light. Everything's consciousness. But, you know, in a kind of human way, my human job, ego maybe, is just to get out of the way. Is just to not cause trouble, to not get in my own way, not offer myself my capital S, not offer my true self any unnecessary trouble or resistance. So what we can try to do is, we just got to try to get rid of that Seven of Swords, and then this light is coming in, and it's going to flow out in the direction it needs to go, and it's going to, we just got to not get in our own way. Okay? Because in a way, we're the Knight of the Holy Grail locked in the room, but then we're also the guards outside with the spears saying, where are you going? We just got to stop. We just got to stand down in our own lives and stop standing against ourselves and let this light shine through us. Okay? And sometimes this requires that we are flexible. You're a lot more flexible and adaptive than you know. Okay? Because this is under the surface. This is saying, like, look, you really are a flexible and elastic and adaptable magician. Your persona, your personality can change and grow and evolve. And the mask that we wear is infinitely elastic. Okay? So we can be, and we can figure out what we need to be so that we can get through all of the challenges that are going to be ahead of us on this path. Okay? So the magician is in there, needs to be realized. Needs to be realized. Now, the lust card in your past, Okay. This could be, well, this could be a, if we're part of this limiting thing, right? If it's part of this resistance that we're talking about, we put these two together, it's kind of like saying you've been discouraged. You've been discouraged from shining your light in your life. You know, maybe as a kid, maybe through our young adulthood or childhood. Somehow there's always been, we've been taught to not be so loud, not be so vocal, not let our light shine, not be so radiant, not be so loud, you know, or proud. And so the Seven of Swords is kind of like this complex that is in us that tries to tame the lion, tries to tame the beast within us, and says, no, that's not what people do. I'm not supposed to be all passionate and fired up about things, you know? And so this is kind of like we're unconsciously, because of these complexes, we're getting in our own way, and we're not allowing this fire, this creative fire, this confidence, this, I mean, it's a beast of passion, you know? We're not letting it really do its thing. This is fire energy, right? It's a Leo energy, but it's being kept in that cage. And that's why there's no fire anywhere else, because this is the fire that we're blocking it. We're saying, okay, for whatever reason, this isn't coming out of there. And I don't think we're doing it on purpose. You know, I think it's an outdated belief. It's some kind of a childhood thing. It's maybe a fear of rejection, you know, something along those lines. It may be some kind of insecurity. Okay, that we have a little bit of a resistance toward letting ourselves really shine out there in the world because, well, here's the fool. We don't want to look like a fool. Maybe we're worried we don't want to embarrass ourselves, you know, that sort of thing. Okay. It could be that we have an experience in the past of like really letting ourselves go, immersing ourselves up, letting ourselves become passionate about something, only to kind of embarrass ourselves or end up looking like a fool. Why? Because it didn't work. Because maybe you were betrayed. Maybe it wasn't what you thought it was. You know, maybe you were, you know, it wasn't received well, let's say. Okay, so there could be a lot of reasons why this energy is kind of being blocked in us. Because I feel like you're fired up. I feel like if we just remove that, look at that. This is the perfect process of manifestation. This is huge. You feel the passion. You have a direction for it, and this is your future self sitting pretty. You're infinitely elastic. You know what path you're on, and so you know what skills you got to learn. The Princess of Swords is your ability to learn and grow, learn from mistakes, your ability to kind of get better at something, and it's really, this is the outward expression of the magician in that term, you know, of growth and elasticity and sort of shaping our persona and molding ourselves. Like, this is the knowledge we have to learn. This is the information, like literally the skills we got to learn. Because we have all of this adaptability, this is us adapting, learning what I got to learn. Because this isn't one of the fears, right, was that I don't know what I'm doing. So I don't know how I'm going to take this passion and take this mission statement and make it a concrete reality. Okay, yeah, granted, you don't know what that is. Is that going to be a barricade? Is that going to be a bar to your success? No, you're going to be flexible and adaptable like a magician. You're going to learn what you need to learn. You're going to figure it out. Okay? And that's what the Princess of Swords is all about, giving ourselves permission to not know everything. I don't know all the details. I can figure it out. I may not know how to operate this machine, but I'll read the manual, I'll learn, I'll practice, I'll get good at it. I'll learn the skills I need. If I don't already know how to do something, I'll learn how to do it. I'll figure it out. There's a confidence here, right? It doesn't have to be a bar where it's, oh, that's another guard outside the door. Right? Another reason why I can't do this thing, because I don't know certain skills. I'm lacking in certain knowledge. I guess shucks, right? Can't do it. Guess I got to put the beast back in the cage. Okay, well, we ticked that one off. We got rid of that bar, okay, of our cage. We got rid of that one. We know that we can learn what we need to learn. I think the rest of the bars are the fear of negative influence from outside, criticism, how other people are going to perceive us. And the other thing is, I think, from our history, from our past, reasons why we may not feel comfortable getting passionate, getting fired up about something. Well, because we don't want to embarrass ourselves or feel like we don't feel self-conscious, perhaps, something like this, right? I think you can remove the rest of those bars and we can get to this is our good life. And the High Priestess, let's not forget about the High Priestess as the intuition, the guiding light of your life, right? This is the light of the star coming down and entering into you. And what does that energy do? It shows you where your blockages are, shows you where the bars of your cage are, so you can start to take them, dismantle them. A little file, right? You file those bars down and break them off of there. The High Priestess is always trying to lead you to your best life, lead you, in this case, to your best self, your future self, the Queen of Pentacles. Okay? The Magician is the one who allows the light in. This is the light. And this light's going to show us things about ourselves, about our psyche, that we may not want to look at, but that are prohibiting us or blocking us from moving toward the life and the success and the existence we want to have, the future self we want. So we let that light in. And once we start recognizing those knots of karma, those blockages, those sore spots, weak spots, that light, once we start looking at those things, the light starts to shine out from us. And that is the Magician, right? The Magician is that clear channel, and we're always trying to become better and better at that, which means we have to be constantly aware of what the blockages are, because new ones are forming as we speak. We're getting rid of one bar over here, another one's kind of cementing itself in over here. We're going to have to focus on that. It's a continuous process of this internal spiritual work, so that we can always be the best magician, the best transmitter of that divine light that we can be. High Priestess is card number 2, leading us to card number 3, which is the Empress, right? The good life, big rock, candy mountain. And in the future position, of course, you've got your Queen of Pentacles. This is who you're going to be, where you're going to be, and what you're going to be doing in the future. This is the painter who paints. Look at me, I'm sitting pretty with my paintings, right? This is someone who has reached a level of success, is looking back at the long and winding road that you had to take to get here. This is your future self looking back on all your thoughts, words, and deeds right now in the moment and saying, please do the right thing because I want to exist. Okay? This is really nice. I love this reading for you. I think you're doing it. This is going to be a really, really big shift for you. I feel like this is a change. This is, I feel like we're getting rid of all these blockages and things are going to be a lot different. Okay? We're going to talk about the path of the serpent. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Okay. Your general energy is the Hermit. And sometimes the Hermit is that we've kind of withdrawn from kind of active engagement in the world, right? It may be the way other people are seeing you right now. It's kind of like people may see you as somebody who is not engaged. You may seem like a person who's very introspective, very introverted. But what's inside of you is this, gosh darn, passion, right? This creative energy that wants to get out. And so it's kind of like the world's just waiting for you to reveal your true self, And we may have been feeling a little bit more sequestered lately. We're kind of in our fortress of solitude. We're doing the introspective work. That's what the Hermit does, looks inside. So we're doing phase 1 of this whole magician type of energy, right? We're letting the light come in. We're letting the High Priestess, which is literally the light itself, we're letting the High Priestess come in and show us what's inside, and that's what we're doing here, okay? The Hermit is the one who is engaged in that first practice of introspection. So I can see where the bars of my own cage are. I can shine a light on that, okay? So this may be your kind of, your general energy, okay? And we have to be careful with that because very often that first phase, again, like I said, it's an ongoing process, right? It never really ends. As soon as we start dismantling one bar, another one cements itself in. It's a never-ending process. Sometimes we'll get so wrapped up in that we will forget about the second phase, which is where the light has to be transmitted out to the world. We get so locked up in our internal development, we forget about the external stuff. We forget about what we were doing. We're trying to create something in the world. We're trying to be an active, creative force in our lives, creating the life that we want, creating the, it's like I can be introspective all day long, but if it doesn't actually lead to any movement or changes or activity, then what is it for? Just for knowledge? Just because I want to know all these things? We have to take that knowledge, that wisdom from the introspection, we have to put it into practice. Well, that's something that your Queen of Pentacles does. The Queen of Pentacles is somebody that learns from the past, learns from all the introspection, understands the essence of it, but has put it into a practical wisdom, knows what to do with it. Okay, and this is the result of that. This is, again, your future self. Who you are, where you are, and what you're doing depends on your thoughts, words, and deeds right now. We're taking the introspection, but we're going to put it into action. We need some fire. We need the lust card. We need that Leo energy to be unleashed from that cage, right? We need it to break free of that. The mental blockages here. Okay. Now, in a way, the Hermit and the Fool sort of represent these two phases, the introspection and then really the extroversion. This is really just kind of, this is like pure extroversion, no self-conscious, no self-awareness at all. It's a complete fool. It's just a bumbling fool. No consideration, no sense of self, no self-consciousness, no self-awareness, which is the exact opposite of the Hermit. The Hermit is, I'm all concerned, only concerned about this is like extreme introversion. This is extreme extroversion. So in a way, we have this contrast that we're talking about with the Magician, and I think we have to blend both of these together at the same time, and that's the Magician. Okay, in this context, that's the Magician. But the Fool is in the position of your environment, the position of your relationship. So I think that when we're looking at the things that are preventing us from moving forward and getting the life we want, we may have this fear of being judged, or this fear of being disliked. Okay, it might be that we could be projecting some of that onto others. Okay, so what are we disliking or judging in others that may be in us? Okay, maybe we have this unexpressed confidence, right? Maybe we are sort of we're observing, we're noticing other people's arrogance. Because we're kind of projecting. We're saying, oh gosh, yeah, Paul over there, real arrogant SOB, that guy, right? And maybe that's because, that's just me identifying that I've got some confidence in me that wants to come out too. I want to be able to express myself in a way that is a little bit carefree, and I'm not worried about what other people think. Just doing me, just feeling me, And so we need a little bit of that. We have to also ask, what part of ourselves are we rejecting? And I think it's that kind of confidence because this Leo energy could easily border on arrogance, hubris, right? Kind of an overconfident energy. And it needs to be controlled. It needs to be managed, regulated, disciplined, not repressed, not kept in a birdcage, not kept in a prison here, right? So I feel like that's kind of what we need to integrate, the introversion, extroversion, with the two phases of this, the starlight coming in and sort of illuminating our Magician energy, okay? I wonder if the mystery card will be the Star card, because this is the starlight coming in, and this is the result of that work, the introspection, and of course then the outward activity, okay? I think it is our confidence, our creative spontaneity, and our passion that needs to be sort of integrated right now. Yeah. And again, you give the Fool the Ace of Swords, the Fool becomes a Knight of the Holy Grail. Otherwise, the Fool is just bumbling around, stumbling around into one novel situation after the other, good or bad, healthy, unhealthy, doesn't matter. The Fool has no self-awareness. The Fool does not know how any of the situations it finds itself in are affecting it or the world this is inconsiderate. This is a card that's inconsiderate both of itself and of everybody else. It's just in a search for novelty, novelty, novelty. Right? It has no sense of self, no self-awareness. You give it an Ace of Swords, and suddenly now it's got a purpose. Suddenly now I don't feel like a feather in the wind. Now I've got an aim, I've got a goal, I got a mission now. Now I'm a knight of the Holy Grail, right? And I think of Percival, right? This innocent, bumbling fool of a knight, but is the most holy knight that there was, you know. And it's really, it's accepting that part of ourselves and saying, yeah, if I'm taking up my Ace of Swords, my Excalibur, I'm taking up my mission. And at first I may be just a bumbling fool, but that's okay, right? That's okay. Because like I said, when we first start something, yeah, we're going to be a little green. But we're going to allow ourselves the freedom to try, fail, and learn. Try, fail, and learn. And then we're going to fail better, right? The fear, I think, is the love. The outcome that you're most afraid of is perhaps, well, maybe not achieving the goal, not feeling the love, okay, or maybe not having the love. Now we might be afraid of, well, maybe we're afraid of kind of the hermit energy in a way, of just kind of not being connected with anybody, like not feeling a deep, intimate bond with anybody. And, well, a Knight of the Holy Grail, it's usually a lonely quest, right? And maybe the issue here, the real kind of obstacle, is our self-love. Valuing ourselves, loving ourselves enough that says, I'm just going to let my lust or strength card out of the cage, and I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to pursue this path because I love myself and I care about myself, and I desire for myself the opportunity, at the very least, to pursue the happiness and the success of this path. I owe it to myself to listen to that Ace of Swords, listen to that High Priestess, and at least try. And maybe this is the idea that our value, our worth, our love is not conditioned, is not dependent upon what we create. This is where it stops. The buck stops here. Do you love yourself? Do you feel valuable? Do you feel worth it? Okay? Regardless of what the long-term outcome is of this path, you love yourself, you're worth love, you deserve love, you are valuable, you are an important, worthy, entity in this universe. No matter what you produce or don't produce, this is an unconditional love. This is a bond, this is a reciprocating love with yourself, with the universe, with the world, that isn't contingent upon how much you produce, or what the outcome is, or whether you did a good job or not. This is the way we might unconditionally love, like our kids. I think this is a spiritual love. This is agape. Yeah. I love you regardless of what our human personality does. We're identifying some kind of a core essence in each other that goes beyond all of our human differences. This is real, true love. Love holds everything together. I was going to say love is the glue that holds everything together, but I think glue is even too flimsy for this, right? Because glue, you heat it up, it can dissolve. You bend it too much and it's going to snap off, I learned that being a parent, right? Glue doesn't really work. It's like a super glue. This is the super glue that holds everything together. Okay? Regardless of what you're creating, but there's that Nine of Pentacles. You're making progress doing the thing. I think your life, this is someone who is seeing noticeable progress. It's a measurable, visible sign of progress here that you're getting to that Prince or the Queen of Pentacles here. Okay? This is the earth energy that we've got here. You want to become this person. This is you. Okay? So this is that transformation, and I feel like this is you growing into this. This is the internal growth and the external growth. This is progress in both the self-spiritual, psycho-spiritual development and in the physical world outside of you. Yeah. This is gain. This is progress. This is the money coming in. This is, things are going in the right direction. Okay. Now let's look at the mystery card. Mystery card. Fire, right? It's got to be. It's either another strength card, or it is the Emperor, or it is maybe an Ace of Wands, Six of Wands, something like that. It's going to be fire. Yeah. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Here we go. Oh, look at that tower. Yeah, the tower. That's awesome, because that is our creative force breaking out of this cage, breaking down those obstacles, unleashing this. And I feel like this becomes a very sudden thing. This is kind of like one day, that's it, I'm done. I'm doing it. I'm not going to hold myself back anymore. It's a sudden and drastic change. It's an exclamation point of life, right? It's the destruction of false foundations, illusions, outdated structures, the bars of the cage. They were not just chiseling one off at a time, right? Because then another one's going to grow in its place, right? Maybe we're just saying this starlight's coming in and breaking it wide open. All at once, all the bars come down, okay? This is an awakening, a revelation for you, okay? This is, I think, a very abrupt awakening of this destiny, of this download, of the revelation of your path, your mission statement, your truth. That's leading to transformation, okay? This could be, in some ways, an ego collapse, right, in a way, or an ego that's humbled, an ego that says, I don't need to worry about what other people think of me. This is a true confidence emerging. It's not just ego hubris. It's like, I'm the best, I'm better than everybody. Well, you know what? You're going to be humbled if you have that kind of attitude. Confidence is saying, I can be who I am regardless of what people think. Whatever the situation is, I trust that I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to do my very best. And then I'm going to keep going and learning and growing. Regardless of what happens around me, I'm going to do my best, and I'm confident that I'm going to be okay. Okay? I think this is the ending of all of the resistance here. Okay? The refusal to change is no longer an option. We're facing this head on. This is a spiritual breakthrough. Okay? I think something is radically shifting our paths right now. I think this is a really, really wonderful confirmation card. Now we're going to do an extended reading. We're going to do some oracle cards and an I Ching hexagram. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Aries Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this